Hello, everyone. Uh, Good evening. How do you say good evening in Norwegian? I'll try next year. Um, Thank you for having me here. My name is Yoni Diller. Jonathan is my American name. Here I'm Yoni. So I'm 29. I'm originally from Israel. I came here to tell you a bit about my story on October 7th, what happened on that day from my point of view in the festival. And then I'll get a bit about conclusions for my personal story. And let's dive in a bit about myself, in addition to the fact that I'm one of the survivors. It's my family, my perfect family. I have two brothers, Ben and Rui. They're twins, not identical. They're 21. Danielle, she's my little sister, 2 years younger than me. She cannot speak. She's autistic. She's like the heart of the family. My lovely parents, my mom, she's from Rome, from Italy, and my dad is from California in the United States, from San Francisco. So I grew up with a cowboy and a European mom. With each one, I speak its own language, Italian and English. It let me have the opportunity to speak and share this language in a few ways, few versions. And also one of the reasons that I'm very much of a big Zionist, a big patriot. I really love my country. I love where I grew up, and that's why I keep sharing the story, sharing the truth, what happened. And it really explains a lot of my work, what I will elaborate a bit later. I volunteered a bit in Africa and South America, which is a very classic trip after service. Let's dive in back to what I'm here for mainly. The Nova-festivalen was a festival that many people really were looking forward for. 3,000 people were coming to this festival. Really big event. I was going to join the whole event with a group of friends. We were around 20 of us here. This is the night, the morning of the event. We gathered all together. I went together with a good friend of mine, Nadav. I was after a Friday night dinner with my family. And we went down around 3 a.m. And we arrived at 4:30 to the camping area, 4:30 a.m. We camped together, beautiful lights, beautiful tents, beautiful people. This festival was like really a magical place. Now I want to just explain to you the vibe of the festival. It's a very peaceful festival. The vibe is like very liberal people, peaceful people. It was a peaceful atmosphere, hippie kind of people. When I speak to Americans, I try to explain to them, so they picture it. Imagine a combination of Coachella, of Tomorrowland, and Woodstock. Okay? This is the vibe. People that just came to not only have fun, party, but came to see their friends, enjoy the culture, the trans culture, which is a very beautiful one because there's minimum judgment with one another. And that's why one of the big reasons I really like these festivals. We arrive, we camp together, beautiful lights, nice vibe, in a forest in the middle of the desert. After 1 hour, at that time we're just pre-gaming, introducing each other, because I didn't know all of them personally, all these 20 people. Most of them I did, but we just started to know each other. After 1 hour of pre-gaming, around like 6 a.m., I tell everyone, guys, let's go to the dance floor. Let's go to do what we came here to do. And we took our stuff and we went dancing. 3,000 people, massive festival. We go between the trails, between the lights, and we arrive. For 30 minutes, we had a nice moment of dancing, of enjoying, to see the sunrise. Because the sunrise in these festivals is usually the prime time, the greatest moment. You know, basically that's where we arrive for the sunrise. But with the sunrise came also missiles. 6:29. Before the missiles, this is a drone footage, not mine personally. This is Chen Vashti, a good friend, filmmaker. He did this drone footage 6:27, 2 minutes before the missiles came. Gaza. This is Gaza. This is the festival. You see all the lights. Really before the sun came up. 2 minutes before everything happened. Now, when he understood, when he saw the first missile coming up, it took him 2 minutes to get down. He saw the missiles and he went right down, he brought it down, and that's what we saw. This is us dancing. Suddenly we see rockets, we see missiles coming from Gaza. And you can see that people keep dancing. They don't even realize what's happening. So, missile after missile coming from Gaza. We keep dancing and dancing. Now, this really connects to the topic of after this lecture about psychedelics. Now, imagine people in this festival, they come to enjoy their time, and, you know, some are drunk, some take psychedelics, some just try to have a good, you know, that's what really makes them feel good. So they're not really aware, like, what's really going on. And you see missiles coming, and you don't know what to do. So after like 2 minutes, the police took the microphone, told everyone, guys, there is an attack right now in Israel. Just take your stuff and leave. Take cover. Now, because it's an open space, there's not really a place to hide. So we see the missiles, we run back to the tent, we help our friends pack up, all the lights, the chairs, everything. And we decided that it's a good idea that each one split and goes different places. In the atmosphere of this whole situation, some people are panicking, some people are not panicking. But you know, if there is something that is important for me to explain to you, that it's not the first time that we see missiles, okay, coming from Gaza. Okay, it's Israel's reality for the last years, since 2005, since, you know, Hamas took over. They're sending missiles to provoke us. So we know the drill. Usually it's very simple. You take cover in a shelter for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you continue your life. Unfortunately, this is the reality. So again, some were afraid, some weren't. Most of us were in panic. We go to the parking lot, we get in the car, and we get the hell out of there. Now, let me show you this video so you can see a bit of the vibe of the people. People are packing their stuff. And I take a video. This is all my footage. Because I said I have nothing to lose. You see these people? And you hear their artillery? Focus on these two people here. They're just chilling on their chair, enjoying the moment, waiting for things to calm down. Now, I don't know who recognizes this girl. Now, she didn't know that 1 hour later, she would be in this situation. Does anyone recognize this girl? This is Noa Argamani. Noa Argamani was kidnapped to Gaza. She was released after many months in captivity by Hamas. I saw her last minutes before she got kidnapped. Now, I didn't realize this is Noa when we were in the parking lot. When I explained my story somewhere, someone told me, when I took the video, someone told me, Yoni, I think that girl is sitting there in the background. I think that's Noa Argamani. And I was like, wait, are you sure? And I zoomed in and I mixed, I twisted both pictures. I put all the pictures together and it was really her. She didn't know this is going to happen. If she knew this, she wouldn't be sitting there on a chair waiting, for things to just pass by. So we were in the parking lot, and sorry. We're in the parking lot. It's around 7 a.m. already. We're going out. All the people were going inside the car, 3,000 people trying to get out. People are panicking, traffic, everything's jammed. So I thought it might be a better idea to maybe take the other turn, take right instead of left. And I took the right turn, and just to get out of the whole situation. Again, this is just rockets right now, like missiles. No one knew there's like going to be an invasion coming in. Okay, we just took it a bit easy. We were hurrying up, but we weren't like, run for your life. Not yet. We were in the open fields, waiting for things to calm down. But suddenly, something happens. We felt there was some kind of vibe in the atmosphere, which something's about to happen. We see a group of people yelling at us. Yelling and shouting, do a U-turn now. Don't ask any questions, do a U-turn. And we didn't understand why would these people tell us to do U-turn. They look very afraid in their looks. And at some point, we see a car coming from that direction, like a white car. And it was coming very slowly. It was like on gas. It was driving without gas. It was like very slow. It seemed very odd. We came closer and closer to the car, and you see a girl in the car trying to stop it, but she can't. So we get closer and closer. We open the door for her. She slides out, bleeding to death from her leg. She was shot on her left leg. Her name is Shani. Shani Gabay. This is a shirt in her memory, and I'll explain, and I'll get to her at the end of the story. We saw Shani. We try to help her. We try to understand what happened to you. How did you get shot? At first, it was just missiles. We got the point. But then you see an injured girl in front of your eyes, dying in front of your eyes, crying for help, crying for someone to just understand what happened to her, but we couldn't. She couldn't even talk, say a word. So we blocked her wound. We gave her water. My friend had a bottle of water in his car. He came to take it right away. By the time he came back, we heard gunfire. AK-47s is like an automatic gunfire. Now, I know that usually people that use AK-47s is like, it's a Russian weapon at the end. They use it, usually it's terrorist groups, Russians, jihadist groups, Hamas. That was the point I understood. This is something abnormal. It's not normal. You hear gunfire, heavy gunfire, one after another. You see an injured girl dying in front of your eyes, and there's missiles coming from Gaza from the west side. The ambulance was on its way. There were a lot of people next to her, and we decided to leave our car there, all the gear and my stuff, including my drone. By the way, I came to this event as a drone operator. I came to volunteer. I really like drones. I came there to film the festival. The drone footage is not mine. It's stolen and it got broken. I'm alive, so I really don't care. And everything was left there behind, and we went to the open fields. Shani was back there with all the people. Now, I don't know if you guys remember that video of people running in the open fields. Do you guys remember that video? People are running for their lives. So when we were in the fields, I see people just running, and I still don't understand why, because I hear gunfire. Shani was back there, and I see people running, but behind these people, you see like jeeps, like trucks, like white big trucks, Isuzu, Toyota trucks. And on the Toyota trucks, there's machine guns, and people on their with machine guns, they're shooting everyone, like in a duck range. Like imagine this in your head, it's like crazy. And it was kind of a 2 or 3 seconds scene, which I still remember, and I didn't want to believe that's what I'm seeing. I didn't know these are like Hamas people just shooting everyone like I didn't know that's the situation. I saw it and I said, who are they? Who are these people? Okay, never mind. We dived inside this valley, in this river with no water. And we just dive in. Full of trees, of bushes. We put our head down. Nadav was calling his sister, telling her everything's going to be fine. And we hide in this river. Me and another few people were there hiding under the trees, Iron Dome in the air, blocking the rockets from coming to Israel. And we're hopeless. At some point, the gunfire became stronger and stronger. As it became stronger, we got even more worried. That's when we understood that this is a matter of time, of life or death, and bullets were flying on top of our head, whistling next to our ears, and we just put our head down, and I yelled to the people next to me to put their head down as well. Now, like I said before, imagine these people tired after a long night. Some are drunk, some are drugged. They're not really aware of the situation. And I'm looking at them, and they're not with me. They're not in their consciousness. And that was the best thing we could do, is tell everyone to put their head down and don't look up, because if you're too curious about these even small moments, you're just going to risk your life and probably die on the spot. So we're on the ground, and I'm with Nadav. He gets into the river, into the valley together with me, and we just take cover, and we wait for things to go away. Now, there's this one moment I really, really remember with Nadav. While they're shooting at us, and we're underground in this valley, I felt so bad that I took one of my best friends to this event with me. Like, I felt this responsibility that he doesn't deserve this. I told him, I looked at him in the eye and said, Nadav, I'm sorry I brought you to this festival with me. And he looked at me in the eyes and he said, bro, it's all good, it's all fine. I'll thank you when we get out alive. And we gathered together, we shook hands, we gave like a big hug, and we started getting out of that river slowly, far away from all the noise, from all the explosions. And we go to the open fields far away, going east. East is where the sunrise was. While we're walking in the open fields, you see black smoke, white smoke in the background. Hundreds of rockets in the air. It started with dozens and it became hundreds. My girlfriend was texting me, please answer me. Please answer me. This is already 9:47. We're walking for hours and hours and hours, and bombs keep coming from Gaza to Israel. All this smoke that you see here, these are grenades that were thrown inside bomb shelters that Israeli civilians were hiding inside. I didn't know this at that time. Well, none of us really knew what is happening. That's also one of the reasons that kind of saved us mentally to keep walking. So we kept walking, and this is what's in the background. Now, we didn't really know where we're walking exactly, but while we were in the bushes back in that valley, I opened my maps. I'm lucky that I really like maps to know where I am. I'm like a geography geek. I like to know where is each place. I see all these villages around me, like Ofakim, Sderot, and I see this one village called Patish. Very, very small village. And my intuition, my gut feeling said, let's go walk there, and might be a better option. But it was quite far. When I did a distance, it was about more than 17 kilometers. We kept walking in that direction with other people with us together, including the security guards here. He has security here in his back. We kept walking and walking. Eventually, we walked for almost 5 hours, for 4.5 hours, from the event to Patish. On the way, we almost fainted because we had no water or no food. We're walking in the desert for the hottest times of the day, and people are with us together, and are just clueless. They don't know what is going on. We saw Shani right here. This is where the event happened. Gaza is over there. This is taking left where everyone was going, where initially the terrorists were coming from. They were coming from here. Eventually they were coming from here, and they tried to do a 360 on us. But initially they entered from Be'eri. And that's where we met Shani, and I'll get to her. This is when we saved Shani. We took her outside from the car. You can see her left leg. She's shot on her left leg. We couldn't really do much about it. This is Nadav's car, total loss. It was left behind. So I'll tell you a bit about Shani. Now, we saw Shani at a very, very tough moment, because what happened to her, that when we met her, she ran away. She initially went back. She went to Alumim. She went here. She ran away. The first ones that left the event, the whole festival, were shot dead on the spot. Okay, they left. They went with their cars. The terrorists came in from here and came in from here. They met them here, and they shot them with their rifles. And Shani and her friends, they were hiding in this bunker, in the shelters. At some point, the terrorists understood they are hiding in the shelter, so they threw grenades inside the shelter to make sure they're all dead. That was their point. Each Jew that they see can't be alive. So she came back. She managed to escape. She was shot on her leg. All her friends died on the spot. She went back to her car like a brave woman and drove back to the festival, and that's when we saw her. After the whole event, Shani was missing for 47 days, and eventually they found her dead. She was buried together with another person because they were dead together in this ambulance. This ambulance was shot by an RPG missile of one of the Hamas terrorists. 18 people out of 20 people were dead because of this ambulance incident. This is a drone footage to show you a bit after, to see a bit the damage. This is October 8th. Yeah. Only around 5-6 p.m., I arrived home to my parents, telling them that I'm alive, everything is fine. I didn't tell them where I was. I didn't want to panic anyone. But I think it hit us the most, at the point that it hit us the most, was at when we arrived to Patish after almost 5 hours, and you see all the people that survived from the festival from different directions. That's when we understood what really happened. Why? Because people started exchanging stories in different points of view. One person telling me that when I asked him, how's it going? What did you see? Tell us, because no one knew anything. And we had connection on our phone, but no one wanted to even look at the news because we were so after trauma. One guy tells me that he saw his friends being killed in front of his eyes. And one girl telling me that she saw her friend being raped in front of her eyes. Another girl telling me that she was hiding in the bushes. And she was hiding in the bushes so no one will see her, but through the bush she can see a bit what's around her, and she sees her friends being raped in front of her eyes, and she couldn't do anything about it. And I was like, this can't be happening. I cannot believe this is what they saw. So each one saw different stuff, and that's when it hit me. While we were walking all these hours, that's what's happening at that time. It is inhuman. Later after that, after the whole event, I didn't want to be home too much. I wanted to do something a bit meaningful. I wanted to be relevant. I went through this trauma, and I didn't want to be like a victim. I didn't want to stay home, start watching the news. I didn't want to be in my comfort zone, because that's when all the thoughts are coming. So I always ask myself, how can I be more relevant? So the press of Israel, they came to interview me, and I had to share my story in 3 languages, in Italian, English, and Hebrew, to spread the story, because I felt that everyone should hear what happened. Everyone should know what happened on October 7th, because it's everyone's right to know what happened, not from the news, from the real people who survived it. In the beginning, I didn't really want to interview. I wanted like my privacy, and I don't know if you guys, sometimes press can be a bit pressful. And I wanted my peace, but at some point, it really felt good. And I went from interview to MSNBC, Rai Uno in Italy, Sky News, Fox News, and I kept doing it because I felt it was the right thing to do, and I took this opportunity to impact. Later on, I went to America, to all the US campuses, the Harvard, MIT, Columbia, to the US Congress, to speak about what happened and bridge it to something more positive. Not only to share the story, but also talk about what should we do, how could we really make the world a bit of a better place. This is what we went through. I have 4 friends that got murdered in this festival, together with other more than 400 people that got murdered in this festival, like in the duck range. Hundreds of people were kidnapped, and there's still more than 100 people kidnapped. So this opportunity kind of made me feel really good with myself. Finding meaning for me was really, really important. And I read this book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, if anyone knows about the book. And it had a lot of impact on me because I felt that there is hope. If I keep doing something that kind of like improves me and the people around me, I get out of that trauma faster. And at the end, it's a matter of how you look at things. And finding meaning, you don't need like a Nova event. You don't need like a trauma to have a meaning. It's really under our nose, and we just have to really look at it and look at things in a more bigger picture, and that will really make us better people and also create a better society. And I just want to leave you with one last thought, because I have to finish now. Misinformation. When I was in America, I see people yelling and shouting that October 7th never happened. Personally, it really, really bothered me because I went there, I was there, I survived it. How can you say this didn't happen? I saw all that propaganda. Hate speech, misinformation, so much of it. It's number 2, the World Economic Forum. They had this report in 2024 saying that misinformation is number 2 threat after climate change, and it's going to pass that, especially with AI. Everyone is fed with so much news, so much content. You never know what's right, what's wrong. My job is to tell you what happened without getting into politics, without saying this was like this was like that, without any opinion. Black and white. And we just have to be really careful from where we really consume our news, consume our content, question things. Every source has an interest. We have to be smarter than that. The future, the next generation, it's just getting worse. People are becoming more isolated. There's less empathy. It's all based. The misinformation, all the bots. I've been blocked on TikTok. TikTok belongs to China. You can't see standing for Ukraine too much on TikTok, but you can find it maybe on Instagram. It's all a geopolitical interest and so many other interests. And I can give you many, many other examples. Because we have not much time, I can't really show that. So at the end, we all want a better future. We all want to have a better society, I guess. By meaning and by consuming the right content, we can create a better society and a better world. Am Yisrael Chai. And I really wish for all the hostages in Gaza, the Israelis hostages in Gaza, to come back home. And I wish for all of us to find more peace and love with one another. Thank you very much. Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you.